A dominant display by India, 201 for 8, that is all South Africa could manage. India have won by 30 runs, the fifth and final T20I, the last game of 2025 for the Indian team. They have won the series 3-1. 2 years now in total domination, led by Varun Chakravarthy's brilliant 4-wicket haul, Hardik Pandya, Jasprit Bumrah, everybody chipping in. And we end 2025 on a high. Harshit, you had said that, yes, they could run South Africa. South Africa could run India close, but there was never going to be. Same sentiment echoed by Nikhil. Nikhil, this performance, when you look at it in Ahmedabad, sums up the Indian team's template in a whole, like what they have been doing for the past couple of years.
I mean, first things first, Siddharth, I look at that winning margin, and it's a 30-run winning margin. But usually in T20Is, we say 30 runs, massive, one-sided game. But it felt anything but a one-sided game. I think till the time Marco Jansen was batting, I had my heart in my mouth. So till that time, it was so close. Also, I think in that second innings, it was a game of two halves. The way Quinton de Kock was batting, I felt like this game was done and dusted. 220 plus sort of a total also seemed minuscule with the way they were going. Again, game of two halves. That first half completely dominated by South Africa. Second half, and I have to give credit to that man again. He's worth his weight in gold. Jasprit Bumrah, the kind of, figures he turns up with over and over again. 4 overs, 2 wickets, economy of 4.25 in a game where easily about 400 runs have been scored. He goes with an economy of 4.25. Absolute incredible stuff. And that actually makes me wonder, if you didn't have a genius like Jasprit Bumrah, would you have been smiling at the end of the day? I'm not sure. Even getting 220 odd, would that have been enough? I'm not sure. So close shave, I'll say. 30 run looks big, but it's a relief for the Indian team.
I mean, just a couple of days back, we were talking about Jasprit Bumrah form, Jasprit Bumrah injury. Where did that come from, yaar? Well, no, why should I have been even worried about Jasprit Bumrah in the first place?
There was legitimate reason back then, I would say. You had also seen the Asia Cup where things were up and down on a couple of occasions. Then you saw the Australian series as well. I think there was reason as well. It's just good. It's just good affirmation to have that Jasprit Bumrah has gone nowhere. Jasprit Bumrah knows when is it that his team needs him the most. Today was also an occasion where you didn't want there to be a scenario that you allowed the opposition to level the series. You've had a proud record of winning all series over the last year and a half, 14, 15, whatever number of series that Suryakumar Yadav has led India.
11 consecutive T20I series wins, 8 consecutive bilateral T20I series.
Yeah, and I think this is the 15th T20I series win that you have against South Africa. No, they've only won 1 T20I series against India till date.
Yeah, the 2-0 in 2015.
Exactly. But speaking of Nikhil mentioned over there that we were all smiling right now because there's a Jasprit Bumrah. How do we end up forgetting that perhaps there would have been so much that wouldn't have happened if there wasn't a Jasprit Bumrah? You wouldn't have been T20 champions if there was no Jasprit Bumrah. You just would not have won that match against Pakistan. You wouldn't have progressed perhaps to the final as well if there was no Jasprit Bumrah. You would still have been just only one-time T20 champions. You still would have had that curse of not being able to win the T20 World Cup since the inauguration of the IPL. It is Jasprit Bumrah's world and we're only living in it.
Of course. But for a brief moment, Nikhil and Harshit, a left-hander going ablaze, an overseas left-hander hurting you in Ahmedabad. Where have we heard that before? And did Quinton de Kock make us eat a bit of humble pie? Because he plays one good knock and then he goes into hibernation.
You bring it up interestingly on the 19th of December.
Of course. I mean, has Quinton de Kock again, look at the knock that he played today. He almost had us worried. We thought, damn, on a day when Brisbane Heat achieved the highest ever successful chase in BBL history, chasing 258. On the same day where they're going to do the unthinkable. So, Nikhil, that myth has also been dispelled. De Kock only one knock and then he goes into sleep mode.
The one that I'm missing the most in our panel today is Shane Dias, because he's the one who's always been, propagating this theory that Quinton de Kock, I don't blame him. Quinton de Kock, one knock wonder, he'll play that one good knock and then he'll go off to sleep. And the funny thing is, this knock doesn't even come before the IPL auction actually. It comes after the IPL auction. It's usually before the IPL auction he gets like totally fired up. Today was interesting to see Jasprit Bumrah versus Quinton de Kock. Now teammates back again. They used to be teammates back again, but boy is he in good form. And for a Quinton de Kock to fire on so many multiple occasions, I mean that again is a rarity. Now it looks like it's a steal for Mumbai Indians as well. Consistent, I mean destructive Quinton de Kock we all know, but a consistent de Kock with a destructive Quinton de Kock, you've got a gold mine.
He comes back from retirement. You had limited expectations because of his up and down batting nature. He scores a century against you in ODIs. Then come the T20I, he scores that blazing knock first
90.
up, 90 odd, and then finishes the series on a high as well with, by the way, having picked up an injury or two. He was very, he looked very troubled the time that he was wicket keeping. The very first ball of the match, and then I think there was an instance that happened in the third over in which you had him clutching his hand and he was on the ground and needed treatment. You wondered if he could have given so much with the bat. This was to me a Quinton de Kock who walked into bat with some sort of an injury on his hand. But the way that he batted, boy, injury? The man looked in prime fitness, prime form, everything.
Yeah, he did. But then, see, but if you have to look at the turning point of this match, two things. One, the Hardik Pandya blitz that ensured that we had 15-20 runs above par. South Africa tried to do the same thing, but they were thwarted because they didn't have the mystery and class of Varun Chakravarthy, who, by the way, has gotten his most expensive four-wicket haul ever. It's the most expensive four-wicket haul in the history of T20Is, 4 for 53.
For an Indian or overall?
Overall, that's what I saw in the host broadcasters that they had tried. It was the most expensive four-wicket haul in T20I history. So that's the thing.
And that is why when I listed the people that are responsible for India winning, of course, there's Jasprit Bumrah there with the 2 wickets in the economy that he comes up with. And of course, there's Hardik Pandya. If it wasn't for his knock, you hadn't got enough total. And even though South Africa had a collapse, you still would have lost this game. In that sense, Varun Chakravarthy, how often can I think of a game where a bowler has picked up 4 wickets in a T20I and we are not making him as one of the heroes or one of the protagonists of you winning the game? Very rarely. So I think it's the very first time. And that boils down to the fact that he went for such a high economy, 13 plus. It was, of course, it was a good pitch to bat on. But I think what South Africa showed that he can be taken for a lot of runs. And so eventually you'd have to put it down to 2 protagonists. I think Hardik Pandya with the bat, Jasprit Bumrah with the ball. Pretty much the reasons why you've managed to win another series. And that takes me to the other point that, say what we want to say about this Indian T20I team. We've often complained about issues, X not working out, Y not working out. The fact of the matter is that it still remains the best T20I unit on the planet. Nobody, I mean, yes, you have close games, you have hiccups, and that's the nature of the format. T20 format is supposed to be like that. Yet to have this sort of consistency as India is showing in T20 cricket is incredible. So for all Indian fans out there, I'd just like to say that, yes, like you, I also have a lot of concerns. Oftentimes we talk about, if Gill couldn't have been played, this could have been played, this one is not a finisher, that can be a finisher, Kuldeep is sitting out, why are you playing, Harshit is coming in. Despite all of that, I think those are just minor concerns. The fact of the matter and the bigger picture is, boss, you have the best T20I team in the world. We can never be happy with anything, 100%. They say in a marriage also, if you are happy 60, 70%, it's an amazing marriage. Not 100% things will be fine. Same way with the Indian T20I team.
Nikhil, that may not 70, be an analogy.
80, 90%.
That may not be an analogy that will be liked by many.
I don't care. I mean, I'm telling you from experience,
I plus one that.
I've been married like 2 decades and I'm digressing a bit.
Yeah.
when I got married many moons ago, one wise man, much older than I was at that time, 10, 15 years older than I was, who was married, gave me one very good advice. So, I said, I'm nervous, I'm getting married, what? He said, listen, one thing I'll tell you about marriage, and that is a lesson that I keep till today. It's for everyone. He said, the good things about marriage outweigh the bad things about marriage. And that's why nothing can be 100%, to your liking. But the good things will outweigh the bad things. It's as simple as that. And so for the Indian T20I team, I'll say they are a couple of notches above. There are so many good things, and there are few minor things that we'd want change. But there's so many good things that it outweighs the bad thing. We are the envy of the world. We have to realize that despite our differences in whatever way, the Indian team is playing, or their selection or form or batting positions or whatever, bowling combination, whatever said and done, at the end of the day, we are the envy of the world. The entire world would want a T20I team like this. You have it. And so enjoy the success. Having said that, I think it's not a bad idea to raise all the concerns we might have, whether it is Shubman Gill, I'm sure we'll talk about that, whether it is, your bowling, or Kuldeep sitting out, or Arshdeep leaking runs, whatever it is. That's something that we can address. But by and large, as I say, as you head into this World Cup, and your team will be announced tomorrow, you still will go in as the favorites, as a team that's setting the benchmark in this format. And I have no doubts about that.
Look at it. You have to really scratch your head as to when did you lose the series the last time, a T20I series?
Sri Lanka.
Yes. No,
that was the ODI series.
You lost the ODI series there.
series
You have to go way back. See, after the World Cup you played in 2023, you won that. You won the Afghanistan one, and since then you have not been losing a single series. You have to go way back, I would have to say. Maybe somewhere in the West Indies of July 2023, I think. I need to cross check. It's just coming in the top of my head. I think that was the last time you lost a series.
The time that Jaiswal made his debut?
When that was Hardik's last series as a captain.
In the test matches, when Jaiswal made his debut.
Yes. I think that was the last time you lost a series. And that's why.
It's a long time.
Yeah. That's why you have to scratch your head. Look at how your T20I team is. You won in every condition. You won more series in Australia than any other team that has been put together. South Africa has only won one series against you ever. New Zealand, you whitewashed them final there, and you whitewashed them 3-0 in India. So the signs are all there. Heading into this,
football fans would know. You spoke of, you used to fondly speak of total football by Cruyff. This is total domination.
Total dominance.
Total domination. It's domination of the highest order. And there's so many things you need to appreciate about this team. Yeah. Yes, there is one thing you have to give it to them, whether we agree or not with their philosophy, it's working.
It's working.
It can be a theoretical discussion and an unending one at that.
The West Indies series of 2023. Yes, that was the last time. Over 2.5 years. That's been your dominance.
Yeah.
What stops you from not saying that this Indian cricket team can't be compared, if you look at one particular format, to maybe the Australian teams of the 2000s ODIs. Why can't this team be compared in that sense? Is the analogy wrong, Nikhil, for a particular thing that, okay, this is a very volatile format, but I don't think any nation, even in their peak, has established this kind of domination in this format, ever.
Yeah, I think you'd be right. I can't think of any team dominating this format. Of course, you've had examples of ODIs and test matches where a team has dominated. But yeah, I can't think of any team dominating T20I cricket. Having said that, I think there's still a lot of problem areas for the Indian team. Let's address the elephant in the room, and that has to be Shubman Gill, Sanju Samson. How do you see Sanju Samson's 37 today? Has it done him any good, or has it done him harm, or he stays where he is and matter of time where Shubman comes back?
Infuriatingly, when I have to look at it, he remains in neutral. He stays in neutral mode, Sanju Samson, because see, a 37 of 22 at a strike rate of 168, agreed. in the current context, when Shubman Gill is not in form, it looks like a great knock. But prior to this, Shubman Gill has had 2-3 knocks, similar flash in the pans. We did criticize him for that. Agreed, Sanju Samson got the wrong end of the stick when he was pushed higher up the order in spicy conditions in Melbourne. He looked like a cat on a hot tin roof. Here on a flat deck, infuriatingly, yet again falling to spin. That is why he remains in neutral, and it has done no damage to Shubman Gill's absence. It's done no damage at all.
That is something I may not fully agree with, Siddharth. I think it's definitely made some sort of ripples. It may not have made tidal waves. But this knock of Sanju Samson, I think, has made some sort of ripples. It will resonate with the fans, and I think whether it resonates with the selectors or not, or the management, is something different altogether. But was this a very quiet knock? No, I think it did make a few ripples, and I say that for a reason. I am not too sure how many times since the reinduction of Shubman Gill into this T20I side, which was since the Asia Cup, if Shubman Gill gave you too many innings which would have a strike rate of close to 170.
See,
You also, this performance coincides with the fact that look where the total is. There were WhatsApp groups that were buzzing. People were talking about it on social media. I saw people liked the fact that you got a blazing start today. Yes, it could be down to the conditions as well, but you have played in varied conditions over the last few months. There are other teams as well who did manage to get off to a flyer, not the Indian team. You would lose a wicket for the first 20-30 runs. Today the Indian team got off to a flyer in the power play. People rejoiced that. People were reminded of the template that they used to play with. Eventually, yes, you would get to your goal, but it also coincides with that stat. Remember, I was telling you that yes, the numbers reflect that things are perhaps not as hunky-dory as they perhaps used to be. You yet again have a 200 plus total, something that you would be doing so often when this pair would open for India. The moment that you shifted, that total in terms of the average dropped to somewhere around 175, and India wasn't crossing the 200 mark that often. I don't look at all of that as overlaps or just mere coincidences. I think there is a reason why it's happening. A good start is there for a reason. Yes, you're blessed that you have the firepower of a Shivam Dube and a Hardik Pandya and a Jitesh at the bottom. But a good start will always get you those extra runs. So this creates ripples. Does it lead to pressure? I don't know, but this does create ripples. And
see, it is like it's like this analogy. 1 teaspoon of sugar is not enough to eliminate the saltiness of the ocean. That is what Sanju Samson's this knock has done. It's created a ripple. But it's like I'm trying to ensure I put only 1 teaspoon of sugar to make the entire ocean look sweet. It's that infuriating bit all over again. See, every year the T20I template changes.
No, but this is, Siddharth, exactly what you expect, I think, of every player in this team. Yes, you were lucky that you got 2 very good scores today from 2 individuals. There were 2 50s, but this is not a team that celebrates 50s. This is not the team that wants its players. Yes, it's a bit of a bonus if players are able to go on and get to their personal milestones. But the message to everyone in the team is that if from 6 players, because there'll be a few who will never be able to, not always will you have all 6 or 7. In fact, you play 8 batters. Out of the 7 batters, 8th is an all-rounder. Out of the 7, this team wants 4 batters to have a good day. 3 can have an off day. But those 4, if they get to 40s, 50s, you're done. And others, of course, will chip in with 10s and 20s. It's the rate at which this team wants its players to score runs. And I think that was met by Sanju Samson today.
There seems to be no agreement here, Nikhil, about where we stand on the Sanju bit. What is your take on it after this knock?
See, I mean, did Sanju add to the Indian team today? If I ask myself that question, the answer would be yes. I think he did. For once, after a long time, you had a power play where India were the attacking team. I mean, just look at those strike rates. We've discussed that amongst batters that have got double-digit scores, Abhishek Sharma is the slowest. Who would have thought? Now that's something that you find hard to believe. So in that sense, did Sanju add impetus to this batting lineup? Yes, it did. Then I go back to the philosophy that this Indian team has, as you just rightly mentioned, that this Indian team is all about attacking and they want all players to do that, and that's the philosophy that they live by. So now if I keep that in mind, who fulfills that philosophy more for me at this moment? Is it Sanju Samson or is it Shubman Gill? And the answer to that will be Sanju Samson. Having said that, I don't think he utilized this opportunity very well, because we still also live in the day and age of talking about what is a knock that's made an impact. And I think 37s at this strike rate will never be that knock. Abhishek Sharma, why do we talk about it? It's not just his strike rate, because he's given you those scores. He scored hundreds in the IPL. He scored big knocks for India, 70s, 80s. That is what makes Abhishek. Today we're talking about Hardik Pandya as being one of the major reasons alongside Jasprit Bumrah for India winning, because he's got that knock, 60, 70 odd knock at that strike rate. So I think that is something that Sanju needs to keep in mind. If he had got a 50 plus today at that strike rate, boom, he would have made a statement. 37 is what I said can go under the radar. Having said that, as I said, personally, I think Sanju is showing that intent, which is more suited. Nothing against Shubman. He's a fine batter. He is your test captain. He is your ODI captain. I think he has a long future for Indian cricket. Aesthetically so good. He is a team man, everything. But I think for the needs of the team right now, if I had to pick, it's a tough choice. But I think right now you'd have to say that Sanju Samson is suited slightly more to the demands of the Indian team. But what I would like at the moment, in terms of what the Indian team does going forward, is that a Sanju Samson be given a few more chances going forward. You can't have a Sanju Samson play this one game and then not be available for games going forward. So I think this debate is not settled. For me, I mentioned this earlier as well. For me, it was a hunch that Shubman, more than being rested because of an injury, has been rested to give Sanju Samson a chance, because I think somewhere deep down the team management also realized that Shubman Gill experiment hasn't really worked for them, and they also need to test out a Sanju Samson so that by the time they reach the T20 World Cup, they have absolutely the best option going forward. So I think whether it's the coach, the selectors, the captain, they're also not 100% convinced that Gill is that guy, because that experiment does not work. So I think because of that, Sanju was given that chance. I know they wanted to give him a chance in Lucknow too. That game got washed out because of smog. So come the next series, I would want Sanju also to get another couple more opportunities before you make up your mind. And so when you go for that T20 World Cup, 100% who between Sanju and Shubman is that guy. And I think the jury is still out on that. I'm tilting towards Sanju, but it's not done and dusted, that debate. And I would want Sanju to get a few more chances before we're 100% convinced. See, at the end of the day, what matters is the T20 World Cup, and Indian team does well. We want our best team there and the best possible combination. So give both the chance and be 100% convinced which way you're going.
Well, we hope that the BCCI give us that 100% convincing that, Sanju, I do agree, I think he suits the team template more. There's no two ways about it.
It just looks more instinctive to him.
Yeah, but he doesn't help himself by being stuck in neutral.
That's just been the Sanju Samson thing.
Exactly.
The moment that he got you those 3 centuries, unfortunate for him, you're looking at a change of leadership, etc., etc. You wanted a vice captain.
There.
Then the opening slot was gone. Then you wanted him to become a finisher. That also a couple of up and down performances. Jitesh comes in, he goes out. Remember at the start of the Asia Cup, what the conversation was? Sanju Samson wasn't seen practicing. He was sat on the drinks box. But there you had him start for India. But
he did play. He did get a 50 in that Oman game. Rather sluggish, but that was also not an aggressive template. Here, I think it's the adaptability template, and this is where I think when you look at it, Sanju doesn't set the stage on fire. Yes, aggressive on flat decks, he can go gung-ho. That's why Abhishek and him, if Abhishek doesn't get you, Sanju will. If Sanju doesn't get you, Abhishek will. That is the way. But one person who has not gotten us at all in 2025 when it comes to 100% convincing is our own captain.
The other big issue.
Massive issue. Suryakumar Yadav in 2025 has given us the most ironic quote of all. He'll be remembered in the year of first. He'll be remembered for that one ironic quote that he gave. I am not out of runs. I am out of runs, but I am not out of form. Okay. Agreed. If it was one series, totally agree. Totally agree. But this is Suryakumar Yadav in 2025 with an average of 13 and with a strike rate of less than 120. Now, I have done basic English. Basic English tells me that Suryakumar Yadav, can't it be out of runs in one whole year not equivalent to out of form? This is where I find it very puzzling, and I know Suryakumar Yadav likes to be in hyperbole mode most of the time. He showed it in the Asia Cup as well. But unfortunately, his words are not backed by runs. Our captain's highest in this year has been 47 against Pakistan.
Yeah.
Okay. Captain-wise, he's been supreme, second to none. But what do you do when you take him out of the comforts of the Wankhede? That is one issue. And pardon me, but all the memes that come to Suryakumar Yadav, I was also not such a big fan of those memes, but now in hindsight, I should have been a fan of those memes. What do we say? I mean, it's too late now to change your captain. You can't change your captain now. But as they say, if your top has a problem, if your leader has a problem, it will filter down in a bad way in some day. And I hope it's not there in the knockout stages. Unless the knockouts are held in Mumbai. If the semi-final is in Mumbai, then I have no problem with Suryakumar Yadav. He will score runs aplenty.
You're pretty much writing him out for any other venue.
Ahmedabad, he can't play. November 19th, December 19th. Failed. This was a flat deck. Lucknow, he couldn't play. What has been his major problem? He's playing conventional cricket. That is Suryakumar Yadav. He's been playing conventional. He's gone down to conventional shots. That's the problem. All those memes of Surya Bhatt are coming true. Because he can only play behind the V. He can't play in front of the V. We have to address this major issue heading into 2026. He's got only 5 games now. He'll captain the T20 World Cup, obviously. But if he doesn't do well there, India might win. But if India don't win, I don't know how he'll sustain
agree
himself.
with you. I agree with you, Siddharth. I think, and I think that agreement is on 2 counts. Let's get to number 1. I think I agree with you that it's too late for you to be looking at a change in captaincy. That's not how the Indian team has ever operated. Looking at captains who may have struggled going into a major competition, and even off late as well, that's not been the stance of the BCCI, and I don't want it to change either. It just creates panic. It's a winning unit at the end of the day, and that's what you want from a tournament, that you end up being a winning unit. So that is something you're getting at the moment. So for that reason, I don't want there to be a captaincy change. Suryakumar Yadav, I wish him luck, that he does well for India as a captain. I do obviously hope that he does well as a batter as well. Having said that, the other point that I have to agree with you on, I think somewhere, yes, out of form is also out of runs. In case of Suryakumar Yadav, yes, there are batters. You don't always, it's not a blanketed statement that being out of runs always means being out of form. No, that's not always the case. There can be batters out there who may be out of runs, but not out of form per se. Unlucky dismissals, just a poor shot here or there, a little lapse of concentration, but otherwise getting the timing right. On a few occasions, able to spot the gap and able to thread the ball through that gap. At the moment, though, I don't think Suryakumar Yadav is that player. Suryakumar Yadav, I remember for the longest time I backed him even after the Asia Cup. The start of the Australia series as well, I was like, okay, let's not write him off yet. One good innings. It didn't come through the Australia series, and now you've had another 4 T20Is in which the runs have eluded him. I think that is enough evidence for me to say that it's a batter who's out of form and resultantly then out of runs as well. I may not agree with him when he says that he's not out of form. I think yes, he's out of form. Today's dismissal was the dismissal of an out of form batter, and yes, that is, I'm sorry to say, Suryakumar Yadav, from being the stronghold of this Indian team in that batting order, is at the moment perhaps a weak link.
I don't know about the eye test and everything, Nikhil, but then seriously, can't out of form in this modern era, out of runs not equal out of form when it comes to the modern era? I mean, what is different about it?
No, I mean, that's a different debate, Siddharth. And I think that out of form and out not getting runs are two different things. Somebody can look very good and just, luck doesn't go his way, conditions don't go his way, so runs don't come. I'm not looking at that. But yeah, I mean, as I said, that's a different debate. I can go on for an hour trying to convince, but I'm not getting into that. I'm just, trying to focus on the matter at hand, and that is, of course, Suryakumar Yadav. Is he a worry at the moment? 100% he is. He is your captain. Oftentimes, it's the captain that sets the mood, sets the precedent for the rest of the team to follow. And your captain not being informed is something to worry about. What can be done? And I think that is something that we need to look at, as has been concluded by this panel, and I am in agreement with that he's your captain, you're not changing him. There's a good chance he doesn't continue as captain after the T20 World Cup. Whether you win, lose, doesn't matter. He doesn't continue. We've all agreed to that. You're not going to change your captain now. I think his captaincy is not also an issue. If you see, actually, under his captaincy, India's won all series. So I don't think he's also faulting as a captain or as a leader. The problem is Suryakumar Yadav, the batter. And that is something that I never imagined. I mean, just a couple of years ago, he was your premier T20 batter. I remember going for the 2022 World Cup where he was being spoken about by everyone. I traveled around for that World Cup in Australia, and every overseas journalist would come and ask me about Suryakumar Yadav. We labeled him Mr. 360. I know now there are memes doing the round, but that's because he's not been able to sustain that. But let's not take away from the truth that at one time he was the best T20 batter in the world. I'm not saying it. As I said, people from all across the globe said it. Yes. What's happened to him? I don't know. I go back to that last IPL. He was phenomenal, made a record for like most half centuries consecutively. I know people talk about good batting wickets, all that, but you are getting good batting wickets now as well, and runs aren't coming, right? And my concern is the T20 World Cup where 90% of your games are going to be played on good batting pitches. So even if you were to conclude that he's a batter for good batting pitches, so be it. That will still work in India's favor. Yet the point is runs are not coming. And I think that's the worrying part. I don't know what's happening. I mean, many said that he shouldn't experiment, get out of that, play straight. Now he's struggling to play straight. I can only think of two things. I mean, nothing else is really coming to mind. He's not looking like someone who just is like a fish out of water. He's not looking like that. To Shubman, you can say that, but that's the format that he's never really excelled at, but not Suryakumar Yadav. So what could it be? One could be, and I'm just second guessing, is he nursing an injury? Remember, he was out because of an injury for some time.
Hernia.
Are there residues of that? I don't know whether that's healed completely or not. I don't know. Because as Siddharth pointed out, he's struggling to play even straight. I don't know what could that be. Or the second thing is there's something that's bothering him mentally, or he's not in the right frame of mind, whether it's the pressure of the World Cup or pressure of the runs. I frankly can't put my finger to it, because to the naked eye, I don't see a problem as such. The only problem I saw was that I would wanted him not to experiment so much and try to play those flicks on the leg side, because teams have also kind of worked him out. So he needed to just play conventional cricket. It's not that he can't. I mean, I remember his previous avatar, he played conventional cricket, was part of that IPL winning squad of KKR. He was a different avatar of Sky. So he can do that. So either it's injury or there's something bothering him mentally. Those are the only two explanations. Otherwise, I can't think of any other reason why he's not getting runs. So again, we can discuss this till cows come home. But the fact of the matter is he's going to be there. And I think more than discussing whether his place in the team is under threat or not, I think the more productive discussion is going to be around how do you get him back into form. I think if we can find a solution to that, that'd be great. I was just going through some of the comments, and I'd love for you to read, because some of our viewers have some really fine comments when it comes to Suryakumar Yadav, and maybe
Before
that
before
gives
we
us
take
an
a couple
insight.
of those comments, Nikhil, a quick word from you on the whole thing. It's being talked about a lot on social media as well. The thing that Siddharth raised. Are you looking at it, looking at him as a player who is out of form or not? Because to him, he's not.
I mean, the conventional way of looking at it is he's not gotten runs, so he's out of form. I still don't see it. I still feel that, certain shots he plays, the way he is, where he's going about it, he's not looking like a cat on a hot tin roof. He's not looking like a fish out of water that some other players tend to do. He's not looking like that. He's looking ultra confident, the way he's captaining the side, the way he comes out to bat. I that's what I'm saying. I can't wrap my head around it. That's why I'm saying he can get runs. I don't think he's one good knock away from getting runs. But why it's not happening, I don't know. So
Okay.
whether you classify it as out of form or bad luck, or whichever way you do, that's
One
that's
of the reasons
immaterial.
I could, and I still maintain that for me, I think he's out of form for the simple reason I've seen all sorts of dismissals. I've seen him get cleaned up. I've seen him go for a drive, harmless delivery, going for a drive, getting caught right behind. I've seen him sky the ball. I've seen him be deceived with a slower one. Today, a conventional shot, just a misreading, I would say, on his part of the length of the delivery, perhaps wasn't the right delivery for him to go for that shot because it catches him high on the bat. You've also seen him go for his stronger suit, I would say, which is target the leg side, go for a shot that he has a lot of confidence in, perhaps play the ramp as well. All of that has resulted in dismissals. I think that establishes for me that he's out of form. No shame in saying that.
He
Captain
is out of form,
yeah.
but where does he admit at this point in time? That's the problem. See, but then, as I said, all the problems will be swept under the carpet, because how will you raise those concerns when you've got a winning percentage of 84 in just 1 year? 21 games.
See, the only time you really get to express anger or furore over it is if India failed to retain the World Cup.
That
And
is the
Surya
only
doesn't
time.
fire. If Surya fires, then you are not able to retain. That's a different story altogether. But if Surya, even a middling World Cup is not going to save him the criticism.
No, that's the thing. India will continue winning. That's why some people's form will get swept under the carpet. That's the problem.
Okay, let's take a look at those comments then.
Yeah, okay. So the first go up one. Okay. Ajay Bagarkar, as always, the first comment of the day. He says that Aksar in, Jitesh out. You get 8 batters and 6 bowlers. That is a team combination that he would want. The squad combination and such.
Nah, that won't happen. That won't happen. Whether he wants it or not, that's not going to happen.
You need a backup keeper.
You're not going to. No, it's not even a backup keeper. I think he's talking about the 11. Or even if you look at the 15, Akshar is anyway in that 15.
Yeah.
So right now Shahbaz is replacing him. And when you look at that 11, if you're looking at that 11 per se, you can play both, but Jitesh does the job of being a finisher. And if he's talking about the 11, and I think he's talking about the 11,
Yeah.
you still need an opener, which will be either Shubman or Sanju, and Jitesh will have to do that. So, there's
but
still a point to
I'm
be
just-
made about Rinku Singh, but
I'm
Aksar
still trying to
Patel will come in
understand
for
with-
Washington Sundar. He's not going to be coming in for Jitesh. It just
Yeah.
doesn't add. You don't need another bowler, by the way.
By the way,
But you
Washington.
can't have both. Then Gill, there can't be a scenario in the 11 that you don't have an don't have a Jitesh, but you have a Gill. Because if Gill's playing, then Sanju's out. Then who's your keeper?
No,
No, I
I
think,
agree. But exactly, I'm just talking about him talking about Jitesh for Akshar.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not a like for
That's
like.
not
It
a
just
like for
can't.
like,
It just can't happen.
Can't happen.
Can't
Right,
happen.
right.
By the way, Washington Sundar had a terrible day in the field. He misfielded, dropped a catch. That, I think, goes against him if you have to look at considering him full time in the playing 11. I'm sorry. In current situations, he can't drop catches and misfield. Yeah, it can cost you in a big way.
Or Asia Cup was a horror show by the entire team.
Yeah, that is because of the
Whatever the reason,
Ring of
Siddharth,
fire,
he
ring
was
of
the
fire.
second worst fielding side.
Yeah.
Some 13 catches dropped.
Correct. So, Vishal 9925 from the US is saying, I always enjoy de Kock batting. Like him, I'm good at my job, don't love it, but I play a solid innings now and then just to stay relevant.
That's a very good synopsis.
What a mantra for my de Kock.
Very good synopsis of the Quinton de Kock we all know.
I know. I mean, he just comes out of retirement, plays a couple of knocks, goes back to fishing. That's it. What a life here. Honestly, I would love to be Quinton de Kock at this point. Yeah, go down, Pawan. Yeah. Oops. Okay. All right. Naveen Narayan, Kung Fu Pandya.
Wakes up, clutch performance, gets injured, new girlfriend, wakes up, circle continues. We actually missed Prince, would have been 260.
Yes. I mean, but then why?
I think he's been sarcastic.
Yeah, then
there.
would have been 260.
Yeah.
Come on, but then.
Also, I think this is sarcasm.
This is sarcasm. Yeah. But I think he likes Hardik Pandya. I think.
Of course he does.
I think he does. He does. So, Vishal 9925 is saying from the US, Sanju replaces Gill, Rinku replaces Jitesh. Perfect. But again, oh, that's a good choice. But then again, Rinku replaces Jitesh.
No, but where's your backup keeper in the 15?
He's there. He'll be in the 15.
Who?
Jitesh.
Yeah. But then Rinku can't be in the 15 at the
I
moment.
think he's
na.
talking about the 11. In the 11.
But then.
See, Abhishek, Sanju, Tilak, Sky, Hardik, Dubey, Aksar. I mean, Hardik, Dubey, Rinku, Aksar, Varun, Bumrah, Arshdeep. That's 11.
Kuldeep?
Kuldeep and can't play. If you get Aksar, you can't play Kuldeep. You can't play three spinners in India, yaar. You have to play only two. Either Aksar
You
plays.
tried doing that.
See, again, Abhishek, Sanju, Tilak, Sky, Hardik, Dubey, Rinku, Aksar, Varun, Jasprit, Arshdeep. That's 11. Done right in right there. I've got all the bowlers, I've got all the batters, and I want till number 8. What more do I need? That's why I can't get in a Harshit, I can't get in a Kuldeep.
Agreed.
That's the thing. So, actually, it is quite a good team if I have to look at it. Jitesh can be in the backup 15. He's there. Naveen Narayan, all-round performance from India. Boom Boom is doing what he does. Hardik is such a six-hitting machine. Tilak's blazing innings. And Varun team looking scary.
You could have said that word. What's wrong?
Or it comes out pretty bad. I would rather
You're not
say.
sure of the pronunciation.
I am not so sure.
Okay,
If
that's
I
fine.
say it in one word, it may come out, and there are hyenas out there who would want to make clips of it and say how bad it is.
I like the exercise of caution.
Yeah, let me exercise caution. Once bitten, twice shy. And Rakesh Bhushan. BCCI is bizarre. Oh, wait.
We miss.
Ashish Dhar.
Ashish.
India must follow this batting lineup going forward.
See, people have liked what they've seen today.
Yeah,
I think the fireworks you saw in the power play is what the Indian fans have missed since the
Yes.
Asia Cup.
Correct. BCCI, Rakesh Bhushan saying, BCCI is bizarre. Surya Gill not in form, currently no worries. Rocco in best of forms, BCCI preempting that they may not be in form for 2 years down the line. Why can't BCCI live in current situation and take action accordingly? I mean, Rakesh Bhushan, Nikhil is highlighting the contrasts. They don't seem to be too concerned over Gill Sky, but they already expressed some non-committal thing about Rohit and Virat. Isn't that an irony in that sense?
See, again, just going back to that, I think there were nobody really mentioned that. I think that was misreporting by the media. I don't think Ajit Agarkar said that they both are non-committal. I think none of that was said. I said that you remember we went through that press conference multiple times. So again, that narrative is wrong. I don't think they ever mentioned that, but I think that made a clear-cut plan as to what they need for the ODI World Cup. And truth be told, is still 2 years away. So do you have to make a call now? I don't blame them. that Rohit and Virat should play has been my personal opinion. Eyes closed, I'd play them. But if they're not ready to commit to that, that's also fine. It's still 2 years away. Right now, we're in a situation in a T20I team where you're still not committed to whether it'll be Sanju Samsung or Shubman Gill. I repeat, I think that Shubman Gill not playing is by design, that they're still not 100% sure whether he's the right guy to go forward. And so if you're so close to a T20I World Cup making so many changes, how can you be so certain about the 50-over World Cup? That's still 2 years away. So no harm done there. So long as I say that the right decision is made and they're still trying to get to that right decision in a T20I format, then fine. For an ODI World Cup, you can wait. I would want Rohit Virat to play. I would think that they are committed to play. I would think that they'll keep scoring runs. It's a long time away.
Yep. Steve Ticolo is saying, Vikrant sir said Sky is suffering from a wrist injury and that is why he's not able to impart power in front of the wickets shot. Nick sir, is this news true?
I'm not sure, but I knew this for a fact that he wasn't, I don't know about the wrist injury, so I'll be very honest, but I do know that he was suffering from an injury, and you remember he took a break also because of that, right? I think it was a hernia injury.
Hernia, yeah.
Yeah.
Hernia.
That is something that I knew of. If wrist injury is a thing, it's a new thing, but then my only point is if that is an injury, then he shouldn't be playing, right? He needs to sit out to heal that injury. There's no need because that only adds to the chatter around Suryakumar Yadav and should he be part of the team or not. And ideally, if he was suffering from it, he would sit out. So I'd be very surprised. I don't know. I've never heard of it. I don't see any signs of that. If you remember, by the way, interestingly, it's a coincidence. When earlier in the show when you were talking, I was like, I can't really put my finger as to why he's not getting runs. Could it be an injury? Could it be a mental thing? Because I don't really see him being, not timing the ball or being woefully out of form. I really couldn't put my finger on it. So I'm not aware of this, but I'd be a bit surprised, right? If there's a finger injury that needs attention nowadays with the center of excellence and physios looking after everything, you really can't feign an injury or you really can't take a decision as to what you would want to do. So I'm not really reading too much into that. I mean, runs count for everything. You need to score runs, and that's what matters at the end of the day. But if in case this is true, then this is that gap that he needs to be ready for post New Year's and come back and get some runs.
Yep, 21 days break that he's got now.
Yeah.
But Rakesh Bhushan is saying, disagree with Nikhil. Sample size of Surya is huge. Failing to score runs. Question is, we are entering into a huge tournament. We need to take home advantage and not take lame ducks and negate this massive home advantage.
But what do you do? Now you guys answer. What are you going to do? Whether it's been a short while, a long while, or whatever while. What are you going to do? You're going to change your captain now? I'll ask you. If you're the coach, you're the selector, you're dropping a Suryakumar Yadav now, you tell me.
No.
I'm not taking that risk.
Neither am I.
Too little time.
See, now I just hope that the best turns out. That's all I can do. Not so close. It doesn't send the right message to the dressing room as well.
Yeah.
Again, as I said, the captain may be out of form, but as a team, it's a winning unit. Yeah. That's what I need. I can afford. If I can have this winning unit by the end of March 4, March 5, that's when the final is expected to happen. If I have a winning unit at the end of the day, I'm fine with an underperforming captain.
Yep. I know. You see, if you win, there is no problem with an underperforming captain. If you lose, then the knives will come out of their sheets.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to happen.
That's the risk you take.
Yeah. You have only less than 50 days left for the T20 World Cup.
Yes.
It's too little too late in that sense. Praneeth Datta saying there are better players than Gill in T20 in India. Patida, Shreyas, Jaiswal. It's unfortunate that Sanju has to sit out for someone good in Test ODIs, not T20. That's a talent pool, Praneeth Datta. That's a talent pool, and some people will have to be in the waitlist quota or in the pooled quota waitlist or regret waitlist.
And as a nation, you're not ready. So the simple answer is, Praneeth, as a nation, you're perhaps not ready to accept the fact that you can have different captains.
Yeah.
Shubman Gill, let's be honest, Nothing against him at all. Love the guy.
Yeah.
He's a beautiful timer of the ball. We know, very conventional, very textbook. He gets runs for his IPL franchise. He's led them to the final as well. So no, it was Hardik, not him, not him.
Hardik.
But yeah, he's showing good credentials as a captain over there, and yeah, the only thing is he didn't ask for it. Perhaps it was the Indian team's vision. It was the BCCI's vision. And there are certain quarters who dislike Gill then as a result for him getting the favour that many say that he's gotten. It's not his fault per se. It is the Indian cricket's fault that they are not willing to accept the fact that you may do well, you may prosper having different captains.
Yep. Rakesh Bhushan saying, captain has to lead by example. Take the bull by its horn in a tournament like the World Cup. Well, an out of form, out of run Sky can lift morale of this team if God forbids they lose odd matches during World Cup. See, Sky the captain has not been an issue at all. As long as you are winning, does Sky the batter's form concern you? That is the one thing that we'll honor. Because see, his form's been pretty okay. It was pretty okay in 2024, but in 2025, it's fallen off a cliff.
I'd like to believe that the dressing room still has faith in his ability as both a captain and a batter, because one of the reasons he was looked at as the captain of the side ahead of Hardik Pandya was that the player feedback was good.
Yeah.
I'd like to believe, because there's no such report that's come about to suggest that there's any sort of unrest. So I think he does know how to get the best out of his teammates.
Yeah, see, Sky the captain has been no problem. Sky the batter is. That's the thing. Ravager 21 is saying, we are trying Sanju, Jitesh, Shubman, but where is Yashasvi? It should be the first choice. Not that easy. Again, I mean, are we seriously considering Yashasvi to be in the 11 now? I know that he'll be picked in the squad as a backup opener. Will he?
Will he? No, Siddharth.
No.
No. You haven't seen him in the 15 for quite a while now.
Quite a while. We haven't seen him. Steve Ticolo, Nikhil, why is Sky not in the Vijay Hazare Mumbai squad? Ideally, he should be playing there as next T20I series is in the 3rd week of Jan. Why not play for form? Should Suryakumar Yadav have been there in the VHT? Because we know the squads were announced for the first 2 games, where Rohit and Virat are pitching for respective sides.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, and there should be a player's initiative that he can opt himself, because he's not. See, again, you have to look at where Sky is in his career. I think Test match cricket and ODI cricket, in that sense, and that's what a player plays for. That he gets that progression to play those format for the country, and it looks like Sky is really out of that. So he's focusing on T20. But I mean, if I was Sky, I'd personally put my hand up and go play a bit of Vijay Hazare. But the difference is, Siddharth, that how ODI cricket is played is now become very different to how T20I cricket is played. Sure, runs don't hurt anyone. Maybe spending a bit of time playing conventional cricket can help you. Maybe feel good. But I think that's to each his own. There could be some that say, no, I only play T20 cricket because that's the way I need to keep performing. So I need to keep practicing that and then get the best out of me. Some might say, no, let me just go out, get some runs anyway. Runs under my belt might help me. That's a personal choice. I don't know. If I was Sky, I would play Vijay Hazare. I mean, but that's a very personal call.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't see it that way.
That's the problem. Because, again, mixing formats to get back into form, I don't know how good that is. And if he's nursing an injury, which many people are believing it to be, maybe this is the right time for him to ensure he gets that rest and be fully 100% fit for the T20 World Cup. That's also one thing that we're looking at. Kevin Kumar is saying, even groundsman can lead this team, needs change. Come on, that's very harsh. I mean, Kevin Kumar, did India lose every series in 2025? If that is the case, then yes, you deserve a change in captaincy. But you have not lost a single series until since July 2023. I mean, as I said, we are mixing captaincy and we are mixing batting form. I have no problem with Suryakumar Yadav, the captain. But his problem is the form. As simple as that.
Dev Pratap Singh Chauhan says that Nikhil bhai, I won't mince my words. No opponent can beat us in the World Cup. Only Gill and Sky can make us lose. Sanju, Abhishek, Tilak is the best top three right now. We should just pray that Sky comes good in the World Cup somehow. Nikhil, your thoughts?
Completely agree. I mean, in the words of the great MS Dhoni, nothing more.
Nothing more to add, yeah.
Okay, we have a new super as well. Let's see who it is. Steve Ticolo says that Sky has not retired from Test ODIs. So why the BCCI mandate is not applicable to him? Why not just retire then? Or he's waiting for Rohit to get him back in the setup?
See, I think if it's all after the T20 World Cup, what is his final decision going to be?
I don't think he's eyeing that ODI comeback as well. I don't
ODI
think so.
comeback is done for Suryakumar Yadav.
Yeah.
It's over. He just can't fit into the ODI setup. We tried it out. It was not.
The ship has sailed.
It was a failure.
There's a lot of talent pool.
It was a failure. Suryakumar Yadav in ODIs was a failure.
It ended on the 19th of November 2023.
It did. So that's why I see. Sky is only playing in one format. You don't want to get him in tests. I mean, the ship has sailed even in test match. So he's essentially only your only other one format guy. Rohit and Virat being the others. Jaddu too. No, Jaddu ODI and tests here.
Oh yeah.
T20Is he retired. He was not picked for Australia. Let's make it very clear here. Yeah. Some more comments, Pawan. This is done.
Australia he wasn't picked for.
He wasn't picked. Too many spinners.
Conditions we were told.
Yeah. Okay. Then Desmond Haynes. Selectors may start the project on Sanju number 5 batter again in New Zealand series to accommodate Gill and mess up everything. Is brand value bigger than the World Cup? Gill is not even third best opener, let alone second. Again, I don't know about the brand value bit and everything here. Desmond Haynes, what if Gill comes good? What if he comes good in the New Zealand series? Remember, he has a great record against New Zealand.
Let's see though, who starts that series.
Yeah. So, okay.
Any other? We have some new ones.
Oh, yeah. Two new ones.
Two, I think.
Yeah. Let's just look at that, and I think we can call it a night.
Yeah.
Siva Subramaniam. Aaron Finch has played good and hasn't been in good form during 2021 T20 World Cup. Still won. So if we win, we don't need change. That's the thing. Aaron Finch.
Yeah.
That was one example.
Woefully out of form.
But then again, did the Australian media go after Aaron Finch? Yes, they did. But was he replaced? No, he wasn't. So in that sense, this is the way which is going to happen in that way. And Vijay Ramachandran is saying, hopes Sanju plays all matches against New Zealand going into the World Cup.
Oh,
that might be tough.
You can only hope so.
That might be
You can
tough.
only hope so.
Yeah.
It looks like,
see,
Vijay, you may be asking for
the countdown has begun. 49 days, 18 hours, 57 minutes and 57
for a lot
seconds.
over there.
Yeah, so 49 days, 18 hours, 57 minutes and 57 seconds and counting. That is your first game when you begin your title defense. Keep the cup.
13 hours, 28 minutes for the all-important press conference.
Oh, yes. That's going to happen at 1:30 p.m. tomorrow. Big day coming up where the squad for the New Zealand series and the T20 World Cup is going to be announced. We are not going to see too many shocks. I think
no shock. You won't see
14 out of 15 select themselves automatically.
Yeah, it's mere formality.
I mean, shortest meeting ever. Yeah.
In fact, the paperwork may have been done. Tomorrow is just about picking up the stamp, getting the ink, giving it a good dip, and then
and that's it.
Stamping it.
Join us at 1:30 p.m. tomorrow for the the PC that's going to take place for the squad announcement. But before that, we will also be bringing you a live of the Ashes. Who knows?
Tomorrow, full house here.
Yes.
On Sports Day, full house.
Full house tomorrow on Super Saturday. So from me, Harshit, and from Nikhil, it's good night, Nandri, Vanakkam, Shubhratri, Shabba Khair, eat your vegetables.
But we may not be done for the day. There's of course two things coming your way. The match report from Nikhil, and we've done a little segment for you as we build up to that all-important press conference, selection meeting, whatever we want to call it. We've gone ahead and done our paperwork. Take a look. Always look forward to your thoughts. We believe it's going to be a very short and sweet meeting tomorrow. But in case you have thoughts, that perhaps the Vijay Hazare, the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy may have changed the script, or maybe Sanju Samson may have done something to cause headache. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section.
And there's one more thing, the press conference. Let's see how that happens. This match press conference. So bye-bye. See you soon.
Bye-bye.